All right, so I've got all my stuff together that I need. You are going to need a pencil, all right, a pair of scissors, some thread or string of some kind, a piece of tape, and then all of your paper, flower type paper. I did the marbleized paper. Again, you can do any kind of paper that you want. Now, there is another option, and you're going to need a lot of paper. There is another thing that you might want to have, and that is straws. So I just used some straws that I had laying around, and I cut them up into small pieces. There's no exact size. Just when you're cutting them, be careful because they kind of fly all over the place. So we're going to start with getting a piece of string, all right, and you want it pretty long, okay, because it's got to go over somebody's head, and it may not be just your head, okay, so it might be somebody else's. So I'm doing mine pretty long. Now that I've got that string, I take my dull pencil. And this is in case you don't have a needle or your parents don't want you to use a needle, you can use a pencil instead. So I'm going to hold my fingers at the back of the paper. I'm going to poke the pencil through just the tip of the pencil. I don't need to push the whole entire one. I'm going to make another hole. Don't get it close to the first hole. Move over, gently push the end of your pencil through. Then I'm going to take the end of my string very carefully, and I'm going to go through the first hole. It takes a little effort to pay attention, and get through that hole. Then I'm going to go through the other hole. Yes, it can be hard for me too, which I had to do this several times to get it to go through. Now I'm going to tie it into a double knot, so that way it will not come apart. Just like when you're tying your shoes, you cross the laces over and then you go underneath, pull tight. You do that 2 times. You can always ask your parents for a little help. That's okay when you're doing this, but it's really good to learn how to tie knots. So I've got the other end of my string, and this is where you can do the option of the straws if you would like. You do not have to. You saw how a bunch of the lays look. They have flowers really close together. This just spreads it out a little bit more. Makes it where if you don't have a lot of paper flowers, it will go a little bit further. So I've got my next hole punched, and I'm going to be a little creative with this one. I'm going to fold it and do something different, because creativity, that's what this is about. So I'm going to do something a little interesting. There's no right or wrong to it, and doesn't mean that you have to do this. I'm just being creative as I am going along. So now I'm going to take the end of that string and I'm going to put it through the hole. And yes, it can be a little difficult, but I know you can do it. And now you can see that there's a space between the flowers. Again, that's an option. You do not have to do that. So now I'm going to pick another piece, and this time I'm going to fold first, and then I'm going to poke the hole second. So there's no, you have to do it this way. I'm just showing you different ways to do it. I'm going to take the pencil and poke that hole through there. Then I'm going to not put a straw between these 2 flowers. And again, there's no right or wrong to it. So you can see those flowers are a little bit closer together, so you get a tighter space or a tighter look. It gets a thicker lay. So I'm going to continue folding and pushing my I'm going to keep folding and pushing my pencil through. Now, if you do have some difficulty, you can always take a piece of tape and put it on the end of your string, okay, and kind of fold it over. You don't have to do this. Again, sometimes it's just easier to go with the string. But if you feel like you're having a real difficult time, you just take a piece of tape and put it on the end, and then it gives you something more to kind of hold on to. You can see my piece of tape is a little thick. So again, it's really whatever works for you. Now I have gotten a lot of mine on there, and I'm ready to tie it off. So where we put that first one, you're going to slide the thread underneath, and then you're going to tie a double knot just like we did before. So again, if you need to ask your parents for a little bit of help, you can definitely do that. So I crossed it. I'm going to put that string through the hole just like you would your shoelaces. That makes one knot. I'm going to repeat that. So I cross and then go underneath and pull tight. And now I have that all tied up. Well, I hope you enjoy learning how to make different style Hawaiian lei.